Stoneforge Mystic, you're like, all right, untap, Inquisition, use Stoneforge Mystic, go.
That seems
like,
pretty good.
Yeah. What Stoneforge's ability
is insane in this matchup.
Yeah, it's huge because Stoneforge's ability is used to slip the sword past counter magic, but their deck's just not interested in fighting that battle at all. They just take it right out of your hand, peel it. I believe Ben is playing more Day of Judgments than Gerard is, and he's playing one less Grave Titan in the main and one less Doomblade. Yeah, he cut the Grave Titan and the Doomblade for Day of Judgments, is what it looks like.
But Ben's the type of guy who wants 4 Wrath of Gods in his deck.
Yeah. Aren't we all? The sideboard, Ben's got Memoricides instead of a few cards from Gerard's. I'm trying to figure out what they are. Oh, he's running Memoricide over Limbala. Gerard has Limbala. That probably helps a lot in the match against Primeval Titan, obviously.
And he does have that one Geth, Lord of the Vault.
I like the Geth, actually. I think the Geth is a nice piece of tech. Man, Ben really hates creatures. He's got a Marsh Casualties in here, too.
He hates creatures.
He hates them.
He does
so
not want to play against creatures.
Laskin probably doesn't want to play against this deck. He's got the Marsh Casualties. Going to be sick. Oh. And they have to, oh, does he have the Condemns? Because that's the biggest card Laskin doesn't want to see. Nope, Disfigure over Condemn. All right, so I guess he has hope yet, I suppose. But yeah.
The Condemns are really good against those Vengevines.
Yeah, exactly. Gerard has the Condemns, so. Yeah, Ben hates creatures, apparently, is what we've learned from this one. Benny Beatdown, going turncoat on power toughness.
Oh yeah, Benny Beatdown, you know, it's kind of one of those ironic names.
Yeah.
Ben is most well known for, I mean, he's most well known for a lot of things. He's been on the U.S. national team twice.
Yes.
He has something like 7 Grand Prix top 8s.
Yep, very talented magician. Haven't had the pleasure of being dispensed by his blade previously.
It's like some really good.
Just watched him play a few matches.
It's the compatriot of Zach Hall.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Zach Hill.
Zach Hall I have played a few times. Zach Hall's a funny guy. Ben too can be quite the funny guy. Creeping Tar Pit, one of the main draws for the blue-black-white version is access to that land, especially when people, like the people copying Jerry's list, like John, are cutting Tectonic Edge from their deck. That Creeping Tar Pit can just literally go the distance.
It's interesting that those cards gain value. The, you know, the Colonnades have, if anything, like lost value over time because, you know, in the late stage of the game now, like attacking with a Colonnade into a Planeswalker isn't as common of a play as it used to be because people have edges.
Yep.
And like people have these cards that just make tapping 5 like that a hard thing to do, especially when you're trying to like equip a sword in the same turn.
Yeah.
But Creeping Tar Pit, like you don't need that many lands in play to do that. Once you have 6 lands, like you can bash for 5 at no mana investment.
And even
it's unblockable.
Should the worst occur, you know, you didn't lose as much mana as previously, so compared to the Colonnade, it's not as bad. Although its vulnerability to Bolt when people are catching on to Bolt is rough. So Ben opened up on Sword of Body and Mind, and he found the Stoneforge Mystic for the Sword of Body and Mind. Interesting he chose Body and Mind instead of Feast and Famine. Could already have the Feast and Famine, could just think it's much better in the matchup.
When John leaves up Spell Pierce mana on that turn, hoping to bait the sword out of Ben, Ben's just going to use the activated
It's not
ability.
real, yeah. Ben has no reason to even care. Look at that mana. Blue-black plains. Oh, it's a beautiful world.
You better watch out. Tower Gargoyles incoming.
Oh man, Tower Gargoyle. What a creature.
People sends triplets, you know. I know it's not legal anymore. I'm kidding, but. Now, John's kind of in a rough way here because Ben had that Mystic draw.
Yep, he's going to deploy the sword.
He's on the play, so.
Squadron Hawk.
Going to start going into jump block mode, it looks like. Jump block mode's not really the best place to be here.
Can't really see Ben's hand. I don't know if he has the leak or if he was just making him think, oh, and he's got a Doomblade in the event of any shenanigans.
Now, you've heard about Carlos Romeo, you know, slow rolling counter spells and like saving them for the cards that matter, but there's one player who does that better than anybody else, it's Benny Beatdown.
Oh?
Benny Beatdown loves to save him some counter spells.
He will get much more use out of his mana if he did have a leak, holding it until the next turn. So now he can just go equip, attack, hold leak for the next spell. Like,
yeah.
And his opponent could only search one Hawk anyway, so he'd be netting the same sort of advantage, basically. I believe that is a leak.
He can do here, though, is he can play the Doomblade first, then he can pay for a Spell Pierce, and then.
I don't think he even cares that much. I think he's just going to attack.
Just going to attack.
Yeah, he can hold the Doomblade for a real creature.
Yeah.
Like, yep. It's good to pass. He repped leak pretty reasonably on the previous turn either way, so. Another Hawk. Ben shrugs. Go ahead.
All right. Come on. Make some Hawks. Now, man, this tar pit just seems so insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, look how threatening this tar pit is right now. Like, that's got to be one of the things that John is really just like terrified of.
I agree. Towards the end of the game, that tar pit will just be the ever-present threat, and John's deck only has Bolt to beat it. Ben may be debating the merits of that Doomblade now.
See, so
he could freely attack with tar pit on this turn also. I mean, he won't be able to hold open any mana, but it'd be an aggressive play, start forcing in damage.
His opponent left open that mana. He knows his opponent has more Hawks, so yeah, he's got to play around some counter magic, but he's really just got to figure out what it is.
The thing is, he's so far ahead right now, what spell does he need to resolve? He can just sit back.
It's true.
He's going to go for the Doomblade.
I think that's a good play.
It's solid. It lets him push forward. It's not something his opponent actually wants to fight over. That's kind of the beautiful part of it. Like,
his opponent also has not played a Stoneforge Mystic yet and has not played his sword, so getting the hit off with the Body of Mine has some extra value. You can get those cards out of your opponent's hand.
For sure. All you have to do is mill a sword or the other Hawk, because I believe he's only searched 2 at this point. He searched them one at a time each time in order to avoid discarding. Spell Pierce. Huh. Ben's trying to figure out why he would use a Spell Pierce. I mean, we know that he's got a Gideon, I believe, in his hand.
Yeah.
So it could be he's going to hope to ride that Gideon back into safety. But if I were Ben, I don't know that I'd pay here. I might just let it happen. Well, he paid.
I think you just pay, because you actually create more power also just by attacking with the Stoneforge Mystic.
That's true.
So it's like the 2
it will make Gideon
like refunds itself with a 2/2.
And we're missed one of the cards. Gideon, a Stoneforge, something else, and something else. All right. Another Gideon.
So yeah, he's missing a lot of Gideons there.
Alrighty.
How many Gideons are in his list?
3.
3 copies.
Jerry's number. Yeah. Ben goes and cracks now. He's probably. Does he have an Inquisition? Is that what he's picked up since?
I'm not sure. I couldn't see that card there. But Ben's.
Yep, an Inquisition. That'll strip away the Hawk, at least. Jace, Leak, Hawk, land. It's 3 Jaces, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of Jace the Mind Sculpt there.
A lot of Sculpted Minds. Looks grim. If we strip away the Hawk, then he no longer has any kind of defense from the Stoneforge, and he'll just start getting run over. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that
Jace with the inability to mana leak any following play is not going to be very threatening. Anything Ben does on the next turn will easily kill the Jace. He can tarp it and wolf into it if it Fate Seals. He can just tarp it into it if it brainstorms. Like,
yeah,
nothing matters. Like,
and he's going to be making more wolves. Again, I think the tarp it really just swings this matchup.
Oh, it's huge. He has the Day of Judgment he found on a Preordain. Well, that slows things down a little bit, but the tarp hit's just going to keep the pressure up, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, another land from Benny, and
yeah. Just needs a land to start right back in business. And we've got a Glacial Fortress.
I think it's Glacial Fortress, so he's in there.
Unless he has something even better. We know that his opponent just dug for that Day, and so does Benny, so if he had a Grave Titan or some similar fatty, this would be a reasonable time to deploy it.
Yeah, you know his opponent has that mana leak and he needs time to play around it.
Yep.
This is a perfect opportunity.
Can't see the rest of Ben's hand very well. Gideon.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, resolving a Gideon's totally
pretty
fine
huge,
here.
Yeah. Gideon also capable of wielding quite the sword.
Oh, yeah.
A fine arc on his swing. His opponent spun a planes right off the top of the deck there.
Only 2 copies of Gideon in Benny's deck.
Yep. I imagine Grave Titan fills a lot of that role probably. Both a threat and a defender.
Oh yeah.
Brainstormed into another Day, an Arid Mesa, I believe. Is that what he put in his hand? Peculiar. He has already played a land for the turn, so he won't be shuffling away the Brainstorm now.
Yeah, so
Ben's on mana.
And Benny can equip his sword, activate his tar pit, and then kill the Jace and crack for 8.
I guess his opponent's basically just trying to bluff the Bolt here and see what Ben's going to do about it. Ben's probably going to call, considering he has a mana leak.
Yeah, I mean, Ben knows that he has the mana leak in hand. Like activating the land and equipping the sword are the 2 things that he does play around the mana leak. I mean, well, his doesn't even have mana leak mana up.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he's bluffing. He brings from into a lightning bolt. So if Ben tries to equip that sword, then Ben won't be able to defend the tar pit. So his opponent saves himself a hit from the sword by not refusing to leave. Yep. But he's got air balls pretty much. A lot of sweet magic cards that don't do anything against this board. Tapping out to Jace for another 3 cards is not going to do it in this spot.
Well, the big thing that happened in this game, though, in particular, is that Ben was on the play and he had to turn 2 Stoneforge.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of the time that's what these games come down to in Smear Match.
The Inquisition on the Squadron was really strong also.
Oh,
especially because his opponent had been forced to chain them one at a time instead of going for all of them at once.
It made his it made his draw kill his opponent much faster than it would otherwise.
Yes. I think that's a good demonstration of the power of the discard in this matchup too. Preordained into land, Preordained. Not going to do it. Leaving the Preordain on the top, eh? Interesting. I don't know how much I like that. I guess it digs us the deepest, but well, there's a Stoneforge.
Huh.
That'll block and hopefully get something that's good, but I'm trying to think what he actually wants to draw. Like Stoneforge feels like it's nearly as good as it gets here. Hawk's not going to do anything. None of the equipment by itself will do anything.
It's just so hard to get back in the game once you're behind in this match.
I guess Bolt is the only other card I can think of that he's like, man, I should try and hit this. Or the last Gideon. So he does have 1 left in the deck. He's going for a nice 3rd card. And packs it in, yep.
I mean, it's time to go to a game 2.
Yeah, that game was all but over.
Again, I'm Jacob Van Lunen. I'm currently here with Glenn Jones. Gavin will be back in a bit. We're here in Edison, New Jersey at the Star City Games Standard Open. Right now we're watching a round 4 feature match between Ben Lundquist and John Grudzina. Ben is piloting an Esper version of the Clawblade deck, and John is piloting the version that Jerry won the event with last week.
Yep, it appears card for card. I don't recognize any difference, if there is one. Even has the one Dispel, Jerry's pet card.
I've never been a big Dispel fan.
I've played a lot of Dispels in Limited. I have not played it much in Constructed except in Ascension during that era when it was one of the top of decks.
Yeah.
You know? But then it was Jerry, too, who was the one convincing to play Dispel in the Ascension deck, so yeah, maybe he was wrong then, too. Who knows? I like the logic of it. You know, it works in all of the situations where you would rep a Spell Pierce and your opponent will play around it and just blows them out. Like,
in a lot of ways, it's a blue guttural response.
Yeah. I think it's a very accurate description. In fact, it was pointed out comically at GP Atlanta by Matthias Hunt and some of those guys. Jerry wrote an article about the blue-green Prismatic Omen deck in which he advocated running guttural response in the board, and they all chuckled because Dispel was strictly superior in the deck. Yeah. It did literally the same thing, but with more counters.
To cast.
Yeah, and Jerry's response was, "Oh, yeah, forgot about that card."
It's easy to forget that stuff sometimes.
It is. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the people in the tournament who wound up playing some instance that they didn't want guttural response were quite happy that the people who net decked from Jerry's blog. Jerry's blog, incidentally, is a nice place to go for some technology. If you're looking to see what's up before a tournament.
Yeah.
It doesn't always get publicized, but Jerry tends to update it with a deck list or advice or
at Jerry T, right?
Something.
That's
Jerry with
Twitter.
Is the Jerry with T with a yeah, but there's also the
Green
blog.
70.
I don't know if it has. I think it has the same .com. I can't really remember for sure, but you can find it via his Twitter or Facebook. It links to it. Always good for some spicy technology, or just an amusing story. Hopefully belittling Colosso. One can only hope.
That's all we can hope for.
Brought in the Duresses, we see.
It's actually somewhat surprising. I think the Inquisitions have a lot more value here.
I don't think he got rid of the Inquisitions. I think he's got them all now.
Oh, nice.
Post Stoneforge, both of those cards are really good, because once you take the one, you just have to beat Sun Titan after that. So Ben brought in probably Divine Offering, Geth, and Duress is my guess. I don't think he'd bring in the Memoricides. I feel like they're slow. They're not going to beat the card that's beating you, which is a lot of the time going to be whatever your opponent played on turn 2.
Yeah, I feel like the Memoricides are very good against the Valcut matchup.
Yeah, that's probably where they're actually designed to be.
That's probably why he has them. Now, what I really like about Ben's deck too is Ben made his deck a way that it beats the normal Clawblade deck, and against these red decks now that are Linvaling post board, he's playing a deck that's pretty resilient to Linval. He's Doomblades and things like that, and he has a whole new angle on it. He beats the creature decks the same way the red deck beat the creature decks, but now he has Disfigure instead of Bolt.
Yep.
And he cracks the mirror with Cribbing Tar Pit.
No, I like the deck's position for sure. I'm not sure what I would be scared to play against if I had this deck. It might be that the mana is a little more stressed. For instance, Grave Titan, you've got Geth, or you've got the Memoricides. It has more black than the other deck had red, I think.
It's true.
And it wants it earlier, especially when you're trying to turn 1 Inquisition. The other deck tried to turn 1 Bolt, but it only had 3 bolts. This deck goes up to 6 of its bolts. It's early 1 mana plays on the splash color. So it's possible that the mana stress is actually one of the things that has the deck as a problem. Or maybe this deck is just the next iteration of
maybe it's just the next big
awesome
thing.
deck. Maybe it's, could be. Wouldn't be surprised. I really do like Inquisition. It seems especially well positioned. People are saying Stoneforge is the new Bitter Blossom, so I mean, let's beat Bitter Blossom the same way we did in Extended,
Yeah. I'll thought sees you Bitter Blossom.
Thought sees you play my own Bitter Blossom.
Excited to see what Benny has for us.
both keep. He's got the Tar Pit, it looks like. He had a turn 1 Black Source, but he didn't use it to Inquisition, so he probably doesn't have an Inquisition or he'd have played it.
Ooh, is that Geth in Benny Beatdown's hand?
Ooh, I hope so.
Ooh.
I very much would like to see a Geth Lord of the Vault attack.
I want to see a Geth in play.
He's got a Hawk. Probably not going to run it into a Mana Leak here, though. Oh. No fear of Archive Trap.
Alright, now.
Ben is going for it. To be fair, now, a lot of people do board out their counter magic in the mirror. So, that could be Benny just deciding, you know, that's what my opponent did. If my opponent's going to copy Jerry's decks, it's likely he's copied Jerry's articles, too. Following suit from his opponent on the previous game. One hawk at a time to avoid discarding cards that you might want later. That is one of the dangerous things about playing. Like, I don't have anything against using internet decks, but when your sideboarding strategies also can come from the internet, your opponents can get a huge edge on you.
Yeah, they can literally know you're 75 all throughout.
Yeah, it's very dangerous to not mix that up. It looks like his opponent did keep in the Spell Pierce, if I saw that correctly, in his opening hand.
Somewhat surprising.
Kept 2, so that means we probably have a Stoneforge on the way, do we? Nope. And pass. Huh. Interesting. Kept both cards there. I agree that the Spell Pierce seemed surprising. Perhaps he wanted a way to defend himself from a turn 1 Inquisition. But definitely a dangerous choice. After all, Benny can just wait to Inquisition until he knows there's going to be something relevant.
Ben just never has to run any of those cards out there.
If he has Inquisition, he doesn't have to take away your Stoneforge on turn 2. He can wait until you play the Stoneforge and then take the sword. Nice Squire. Like,
seems pretty powerful.
And he's just going to start pecking away at the life total.
Watching. Ben finds more birds. He's ready to suit him up.
Ban another Tar Pit. Mana base is just kind of beautiful. The blue black white just gets me. Gets me where I live.
Ben's mana base doesn't look bad though.
No, it doesn't. It makes me happy. I'm just.
Yeah, I mean he has like 14 black sources, 12, 14, 16 green sources, and
pretty passive play from his opponent here.
14 white sources. It's pretty good.
Looks like Spell Pierce land. Like his opponent kept a hand that's just so reactionary in the matchup. I don't actually see. Fanny's got a Jace, bunch of lands. Hand doesn't look much like a keep to me, honestly. Like Spell Pierce, Jace, and lands is not a magical hand.
The Hawks like put a surprisingly good clock on you.
Oh yeah,
like, it's obnoxious.
It's
like
free
once they pick
pressure.
up equipment, it's just over. Because it's just one card that just forces a wrap over and over and over again.
That Spell Pierce getting some value. Ben has learned his opponent did not sideboard out everything.
Yeah. And that's actually a very good play on John's part.
Yeah.
Saying, all right, well, this is how they say you're supposed to sideboard on the internet. So I'm going to do it a little differently. Because Benny probably knows how to play against that.
So John
Colossus
has a
watching
window
in the
to
background.
resolve pretty much whatever he wants right now. But the only thing he has to resolve is a Jace the Mind Sculptor, probably. Oh, that was the Dispel also he's got there.
Ooh, he has the...
Ooh, leaving up the red for Bolt. Doesn't actually have a Bolt yet. I just realized he might want to not do that. Now that's giving away a huge amount of information to Ben. as Ben knows, his opponent definitely doesn't have a bolt right now.
Yeah, I mean...
He may after a brainstorm, but...
Ben's got to be close to certain at this point.
Right?
There's not a bolt.
Or is there? Is that a bolt in his hand, actually? Maybe he's throwing him for a loop. Maybe he just didn't know if he wanted a bolt this turn.
I think he just drew one. Did he?
That's a Terramorphic. I feel like he has like a Beta Bolt or something. I can't really see. Definitely a Dispel.
Ben's Again, here's Ben's tar pit.
Yeah, no, I think he has the bolt. Ben's giving him full credit for it too.
Ben gets to resolve a spell though.
Yep.
It's generally a scary thing.
Very odd. It's a pretty good spell. Again, Ben sticks to Gideon. Gideon's so hard to beat. I think it might be a foil bolt.
He's a very aggressive block.
Whew. Yeah, the card second from the left, I believe, is the bolt.
Gideon is actually the card that I think I should have taken fourth in that.
In the standard
rotisserie.
I could believe it. He's pretty ridiculous.
He's a beater.
He slices, he dices, full amount.
He does everything. Makes salad.
Gonna Fate Seal. In a futile effort to keep Jace around. Gideon to kill Gideon. We tapped out the red source, so now that tar pit's just gonna attack.
Yeah.
Don't think we should have Fate Sealed there. I think we should have cracked our Terramorphic and Brainstorm, gotten the value we could. I don't think making Ben tap 4 mana is that valuable when we're this far behind.
Yeah, I mean, he's already behind on the board. Like, Ben gets to, say, all right, well, I'm still going to have board advantage. Like, I'm going to put you down to 13. I'm going to kill your Jace.
Yep. Into the Jace, into the face.
John's going to drop that Jace into the graveyard.
Man, Jace is one of those cards so frustrating to deal with. And Ben knows that John still has 2 more in his hand that he has to go through.
We're going to get a Hawk. That's probably going to be... We need to do something now. We're on a clock. Another, yep, okay. He does have 2 tar pits.
Ooh.
We're not at activate both yet, but we're getting there.
The tar pits are so good. They're going to make things really rough for his opponent. Who now has the bolt, though. So, let's see what's going on
Sunshine?
here.
Gideon. Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
Gideon of his own. That's actually very strong.
That will buy him some time. And with the bolt, he can also finish. Well, I shouldn't say finish. I should say just kill. Duress. Sick duress. Oh my gosh. Stripping away his defenses. Dispel does not catch that one, my friend. Oh. Colonnade, Dispel, Bolt. That might actually just like almost do the trick in this game. Like, we just take the bolt and start clubbing people to death, right?
Yeah, John still has the active Gideon. So.
Yep. I mean, we club the Gideon. Once he goes to 2, he has to kill himself to do pretty much anything.
True.
John looking up like kind of...
He's like, well, then...
Bolt, right? Like,
which do you want?
Interesting. Or is Ben thinking about playing Geth this turn? think that's what yeah, he's going to Geth it up.
Ooh. I really want to see a Geth.
We're going to lord over the vault now and reading the card. Always a good sign.
Oh, no. What does this thing do?
Does he even have a legal target in his opponent's yard? I'm trying to think.
It was artifact or creature, right?
Artifact or creature.
To play tapped, and you can only use the ability as a sorcery, I believe.
Yes. There's the Colonnade we saw. Got a everybody must attack, but he's been as exactly lethal to finish the job here. Unless he kills a hawk. Is that what he's thinking about doing?
There's really not much of a reason for him to do that, but...
Nope. Oh, I see. He has another Gideon in hand, so he's actually thinking about maybe attacking. Losing his guy on a cheaper play, and then the Gideon probably. Because you go Gideon, attack with Colonnade next turn, play Gideon, plus up. Yep, fight. You don't win games of Magic by not attacking.
Man, I'm really excited to see that Geth get online. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're...
Sometimes 5/5 Intimidate is just going to be enough. Yep. Fight.
Right.
Ben played around a bolt, saving the Gideon there. Now we'll go Gideon, kill Geth. Yes. Not much we can do about that. Still pretty far ahead though. And sword.
Ooh, Sword of Feast and Famine. The top of John's deck has been very good to him.
It's true.
I remember when Ben duressed him before, he left him with nothing but a dispel.
May not matter here though. He's got the Doomblade in his hand, so anything that tries to pick up that sword will find itself sliced by a different blade.
Yeah. Chopped up.
The Gideon is certainly dead right now. There's pretty much no chance that Ben's not going to finish that job. Probably just thinking about the most efficient attack. Those two at Gideon, those two at the face. He's thinking, do I want to send that other target in too, or hold open to my Doomblade? If he holds open the Doomblade, he can't actually protect the Doomblade from the mana leak. And he knows his opponent still has the Dispel, so...
Yeah, I mean, he's fully aware of all the different things that are going on. I think his opponent is...
yeah.
His opponent's definitely prone to like tapping out, though. Maybe he thinks that he might actually get some value out of it later on.
Sure, and if his opponent taps his mana incorrectly... Or wait, let's do the math here. Oh, well, you'll note, unless his opponent draws a land, he can't actually dispel the Doomblade after equipping. He can equip, dispel the Doomblade, but then he won't be able to attack, because the Colonnade will have to provide the last blue mana. But he's got another Hawk. So the Colonnade's certainly not going to connect this turn. It'll die unless it picks up the sword or dispels. Sorry?
What is it? Ben's just looking for another land, I suppose.
His Hawk. He just played the third Hawk. So, it's a Stoneforge, not a Hawk. My mistake. Sword to tell. Sword of Feast and Famine.
Okay, now he's just...
Oh, there's the Hawk. Okay.
Got this locked
we
up.
do have the Hawk. Yeah, his opponent's pretty much out of options. The Colonnade will get chumped if it picks up the sword. It won't if it doesn't. One of the Jumanji players at 4-0, Harrison Greenberg. Oh, it was close, he says. Oh, Lewis is almost 4-0 as well.
And now we have... John's just trying to claw his way back into this game any way he can.
Not looking good, though.
It's not looking good at all.
Tarpit is pretty difficult to stop. And he passes turn. He's going to try and use the Colonnade defensively, which means he's going to have to burn the Dispel just to keep it around.
Benny's got this.
Yep. When your opponent's paying 5 mana to chump block a Squadron, not to chump block, but to block a Squadron Hawk.
Doesn't seem very good for you.
The old reverse collective restraint, man. Ben demonstrating, I got a lot of damage here, buddy.
He does have a lot of damage there.
He's got the Inquisition for the Dispel. He can actually strip the Dispel and Doomblade it. But I don't believe he's going to bother, it appears. He's just going to... Alright, he could do all of this, actually. Sword. Equip Sword to Tarpit. Just attacking with the Tarpit.
I like that play.
It's very fair play. Now we'll go ahead and probably Inquisition the Dispel. He's got Divine Offering for the sword also? Is that what I see?
I think that may in fact be a Divine Offering.
Interesting then that he didn't... Huh.
You would expect the Inquisition to come before the spell.
Yeah.
It's normal ordering of those types of things.
I guess he figures like none of this matters. Like there's nothing his opponent can really do.
And Benny's going to activate some Tar Pits. And
oh, the Dispel. Oh, okay. I see.
That's
he discarded the Dispel. Duh. Wow. That'll do the trick.
So we have
there's the Inquisition.
Ben's leading with his Inquisition again.
Forgot about the Hypnotic Spectre functionality here. Threw a Lightning Bolt.
Thinking about it. Oh well, I have this Lightning Bolt. I might as well just
to the face, perhaps.
Yeah, I guess that'll do it.
Oh,
and Benny beat down, takes down
G-Fabs in the booth.
Oh, that's
awesome. 0.
I was coming to watch a Lundquist because we're playing the same deck.
How are you doing?
I'm 3-1 now.
3-1?
Yeah, I lost the first round, but I managed to 3-0.
Nice.